David is in Canada. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello.
Hi, how can we help?
Well, we have a question about identity. First of all, both of you, thank you so much for certainly the content you create, and we're grateful for our plan. We started in February, March of 2019 with 113,000 Canadian dollars worth of debt. We're at $83,079 right now, so basically 8,400. The finish line is imminent, and Tina and I kind of want to know, who are we after we achieve this goal? This has been a long haul. We don't really have a strong sense of where to go next.
Wow, that's incredible. So, what got you started on this journey that long ago?
Family member's inappropriate gift. A family member gave another family member a copy of the Total Money Makeover, and Christina and I were, victims of our own lifestyle creep, and we had purchased a fixer-upper, and 99% my idea, and it was a total dumpster fire. It was by far the least thought out renovation project in Ontario, Canada.
You just found yourself in a hole?
You better believe it.
All right, so you've worked together for 3 years now, crushing it and grinding it. You're about $8,500 away from the finish line. What do you guys want to do next? What do you want to do?
What do we want to do, Dina? Live life. We want to own a home at some point. In the sort of short term, we're married 10 years in April of 2023. I was kind of thinking that Disney World would be nice.
Okay, so if you just draw another short finish line here, you're going to just keep jumping from finish line to finish line. I want you to do something completely different. And you've probably heard me say this on my show a million times. The best analogy I've ever heard is they could never go sweep up all the glass and steel and dust from the Twin Towers and rebuild those Twin Towers with that dust and that same glass and that same steel. The buildings fell and it's over, right? So we have to excavate it. Sometimes you have to go get professionals to help you, but you excavate it and then you have to draw what's going to be in its place. What's going to come next? And it can be negative situations or it can be really positive things. The last kid just went to college, and then now what? Now we get to excavate what was, and we get to completely redesign what comes next using all of our experiences and talents that we've got, and then lean into what's this thing going to look like. Dave, you've been taking this question for 30 years. When people get to that finish line, okay, I'm debt-free, and they scream it, and then they go, okay, now I've still got to live with you. What have you seen that is helpful in helping them rebuild, reimagine something new?
Yeah, I think you set another goal, but it's not a short-term goal. It's an identity goal. You mentioned the phrase identity, and John, you and I have talked offline about our friend James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And one of the things he talks about with Atomic Habits is you clearly say, I used to be a person that smoked, now I'm a non-smoker. Okay, instead of I don't smoke anymore. Now you couch the language in an identity. I used to be a person, David, that borrowed money. I don't borrow money anymore. And I'm a person that wants to build wealth and be incredibly generous. And I want to do all the things that wealth entails, which is A, enjoy it, and B, give it and enjoy even more the generosity of it. And that's my reasoning for continuing to build wealth. I have never suggested, nor have I personally done, a thing where I build wealth just for the purpose of a single vacation or for the purpose of being wealthy. I'm not trying to be wealthy. I'm trying to do the things that wealth does. And so that's an identity. I'm a wealthy person that enjoys money and incredible generosity. And that's my identity, and I decided that after I was a person that went bankrupt.
David, if you think about identity as that new building, my wife and I, we sat down years ago, and we were trying to figure out what our marriage was going to look like, what new work was going to look like, and we actually made we did it with the kid, with our oldest son at the time, but we just made it was like a craft project basically, but it was, here's who the Delonis are going to be. We're going to be people who fill in the blank. We're people who say yes. We're people who have others over. And those decisions shaped the house that we bought. It shapes how we save money. It shapes the jobs I did or didn't take, because it all leaned back to, how do these actions back up and support this new identity, this new building that we're building. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sharon and I got, as a minute example of that too, is Sharon and I, it took us a little while to realize we are not people who enjoy passive vacations. We don't sit.
Right.
We go. So if we're going to Africa, we're going to go all over the place and see every freaking animal. You know, we're not going to sit and hope the animal wanders by. You know, I mean, we're out there hunting them with a camera, right? And so we're in action, and so we plan the vacations in that regard. Other people want to go and sit and put their feet in the sand and read a book and never move. I can do that at home personally, so I don't do that. But that's a nuanced thing. We decided, and both of us enjoy that type of travel. And so when we're booking travel, it's action-oriented travel.
But to reverse engineer it,
or event travel.
You started taking golf lessons, right?
Yeah.
And because I want to be out moving and doing things, so I'm going to learn how to do this thing. So it impacted your actions on a day-to-day basis for these things later on, right? Yep. And I'm a guy who I naturally, in the evening when I'm at home and someone says, hey, let's come back out, we're going to go grab something to eat, we're going to go watch the fights, my inclination is I'm just going to sit here. But I had said I'm going to be a guy who says yes to things, who goes on adventures. Yeah. And so I drag myself out. I'm going to get in the car.
So you're a guy that used to be in debt, David. Now you're a guy that is getting out of debt. Yeah. And now you're a guy that the next step is you're a guy that doesn't borrow money.
Yep.
I used to, but I don't borrow money anymore. I used to smoke, but I don't smoke anymore. I didn't. But, I mean, that's what Clear talks about, changing the language that states the identity. And that's not positive thinking. It's observation. I am no longer that person.
That's right.
I am now this person.
And I think the positive thinking movement leaves
out. And that kind of goes with your book.
That's exactly right. In fact, I talk about that in one of the chapters.
Yeah, own your past, change your future. It's in there,
is creating this identity moving forward. And so, David, I see this as a moment, like one of the few moments in your adult life, and you'll do this, 4, 5, 6 times, when you get to plan and shape what this thing looks like. And it's going to be loosely held, of course, but what a cool exercise to go spend a half-day retreat with your wife and say, okay, we're not running for our lives anymore. Yeah. What do we want this thing to look like?
Yeah. Now I'm a person that doesn't eat 63 donuts.
Yeah.
I was unbelievably fat during COVID. But I'm not anymore. And I'm not going to self-identify as a person who eats every donut in a 50-mile radius. I have done it in the past, but I cannot do that because I get as big as this room. I look like the Marshmallow Man.
And for Lent, I gave up sugar this year, which was
a bad idea.
You know that. That was hard.
It was a
but
bad idea.
Instead of saying, I'm not,
yeah, exactly.
I said, I'm a guy who doesn't eat sugar.
Right.
And I just didn't, Dave. And I wish I could tell you why or how. It was a light switch for me. Yep. I just don't.
There's something about the language change that, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
That's it, man.
So it's biblical. But this idea that you reset your mind and you go, I used to be a person that did that, but now I'm this person. Now I'm a person that doesn't borrow money, and I'm pursuing wealth for the purpose of enjoyment and generosity. And changing my family tree.
That's so great. What an identity, man.
Yeah, and so you just give yourself a different way of looking at things, and you can do that at 84 years old, or you can do it at 24 years old. It's not an age thing. It's a decision thing.
Congratulations,
That's a really
David, man.
good question. Way to go, David, by the way. Way to go.